people see you guys as the villain, either stick with the Chiefs, whatever. I mean, how do you feel about having everyone out to get you guys?
I try not to listen to it too much. I think more than anything, I just try to embrace who we have in this locker room and the personalities and how we enjoy playing football. And I believe if we play football the right way and we compete and go out there and play our best football, that I'll always have my guys' backs. And so we got a lot of good dudes in this locker room, and all we're going to do is compete and try to win football games.
When it comes to names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter, ones that are synonymous with the words three-peat, and your name and the Kansas City Chiefs organization could be involved with that, how much is that just a motivating factor to win this game even more, just to be on the line of legends that those names are?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always want to leave a legacy and kind of make your imprint on history, but more than anything, you just want to accomplish a goal that you have with your teammates. When you started saying, Joe, your goal is to win the Super Bowl, we know it's a hard process. We know it's a hard week in and week out, but I'm proud of how our guys have kind of went about that process, and we know it's not going to be easy. This team we're playing is a really good football team, but we're going to go out there and put our best effort out there and play as a team, and hopefully that's enough to get a win.
And how much have you admired those athletes like Kobe and Michael, and how much they've influenced you in your career?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think more than anything is you see the competitors that they're going to do whatever it takes to win. That's what you have to be in order to have success in professional sports, is a competitor, someone that's going to put in the work every single week. And watching them and listening to things that when they talk about, that's helped shape my career on how I have to work. And obviously, it's a long ways, I feel like, still for me to go to be mentioned with those guys, but I'll try to do whatever I can to be close enough as I can be.
Patrick, you've talked before about how every year is different and the journey is different. Is there something that stands out about this year's journey to this point, understanding you still have one game left?
Yeah, I think just to me, this team's been special because it's been everybody. I mean, if you look at our entire season, it's like someone that makes a big play at the biggest moment to go out there and win a football game, if that's offense, defense, or special teams. And so I think the fact that it's been everybody, it's not just offense, it's not just defense, it's everybody on the entire team, is something I'll remember this season by, and hopefully we can do it the right way and get this final win.
Films caught last year, you talking with Chris Jones, I'm sure you've seen the clip, just immediately thinking about the third. And I guess as you think back to that, why do you think it was so fast for you that you wanted this one in particular?
I don't know if it was just this one in particular. It's just when you're on that stage and you're celebrating, you start thinking about the guys that are coming back. You think about how young that football team was last year, and you knew that we had a chance to be in this position. And even though you're winning, you're enjoying that moment, you enjoy it, but at the same time, you have a bigger picture of your entire career, and I want to have as many chances as I can to be in the Super Bowl. And it's cool to have guys like Chris and Trav that I've kind of spent my entire career with and won all these games with, and there's a few others with James, Winchester, and Harrison, and I'm probably forgetting someone here or there, but it's cool to have these guys. We built such a great friendship and almost become a family, and I think that's really cool.
Patrick, when you look at your Super Bowl success, the thing that you won, a lot of fourth quarter success, and obviously last year even overtime, is there a point of emphasis to, when you always want to start fast, is that something that has popped in your mind at all?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not just start fast, but just be consistent throughout the game. I think there's been games we started fast and we have lulls, but you have to be able to deal with adversity, and whenever you have those moments, just being able to respond. And so we've played a lot of good teams in the Super Bowls, a lot of good defenses, and we've done a good job of kind of figuring out. But if we can start fast, obviously it would help out and make it to where we don't have to necessarily have a fourth quarter comeback every time. But however you find a way to win, you find a way to get a win.
Andy mentioned the fact that you guys ran 65 toss power trap last week. I wonder what it was like calling that in the huddle, and what the appreciation you have for the history of that play too.
Yeah, for sure. I wish there was a score. It got close, yeah, the history of that play, the history of this organization, it runs through this entire team. I mean, just like last week getting that Lamar Hunt trophy back at home, I mean, it's special for us. And that's one of our goals, is to get that trophy and to win it at Arrowhead. It's a special moment. And so being able to run that play, one that I've watched and one that we have a room named after, next time we'll just try to find a way to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, that play happened like 25 years before you were born. So what do you know? What do you know about it?
Well, you know, I think what's cool about this organization, I know what's cool about this organization is that we always go back and look at the history of it. And if you look at Hank Stram and Lynn Dawson and all the Hall of Famers, I think it's like 6 or 7 Hall of Famers on that football team. We go and we have museums and we learn. And I talk to other guys and other quarterbacks whenever they come in our room, like Carson or Chris or whoever that is, about the history of the Chiefs. And so I think that's the cool thing about the NFL, is that you can look back at these special moments in organizations and really what defines organizations. And so that was a huge moment for this organization.
What makes you guys aware of those things? Is it Andy? Is it Beach? Is it Donovan? Is it somebody else?
It starts with Clark. I mean, we talk about it before every single training camp. Then it goes down through the line. And I mean, when you're with Coach Reid, you hear the best stories of all time. So I meet with him every single Friday, and we talk about the game plan. But that becomes kind of like a story time where I hear these stories about the great. I hear these stories about the great untold stories of the history of the NFL. And one day he's going to write a book, because there's some great ones in there.
You just mentioned Clark. I mean, there are other owners that are much more in the limelight and in present, and we don't see a lot of him there. What is he like as an owner? When you mentioned Carson coming in, guys that have played for other teams, is that something that even permeates the locker room, or is that so removed that you guys don't really feel his presence that often?
No, I think Clark does a great job of being there and showing his support and showing that he is invested, and you can tell he loves it, and not only for his family but for all of us. And then at the same time, letting Coach Reid help run the organization, the football side of it. But he has a huge impact on this organization, the way that he comes to work every single day, and he's there and he's always there. I mean, it is really cool to see, and Texas guy. So all the best are from Texas.
We'll go four more. Go ahead, Lahir, Nate, and then you go there.
You've spoken before and even now about your pretty direct motivation with things like the 3-beat and things like that. It doesn't seem like Andy talks that way or thinks that way, that he's always kind of in the moment. I wonder if you ever heard him talk about that kind of goal, or is he always just on the next? And what do you think drives him then?
I think what drives Coach Reid is just the greatness and becoming better people every single day. I think that's something that is special about him, is he doesn't care if he's playing week 18 or week 1 or Super Bowl or preseason game. He's the same. He's the same. He's going to expect greatness out of you. And when you leave the building, he wants you to be a better person than when you got in the building. And I think that makes it you want to be better every single day that you're in the building. And so when people talk about 3-peat and everything like that, we're focused on how we can be better today to prepare ourselves for the next day, and it starts with him.
Do you ever hear him say something like 3-peat? Does that ever come out of his mouth?
I think the only time I've heard him say it is like to the media whenever y'all ask him about it. So he's very locked in on just how can we be great with our cadence today at practice. So that's just the stuff that Coach Reid focused on.
Nate.
Patrick, I think Clark mentioned this after the game on Sunday, but the experience of having Kareem at your wedding and that being a catapult moment that maybe you didn't know at the time that would lead to him having this redemption arc. Just what do you appreciate most about what Kareem's done this season? And I guess in a simple term, why did you choose to invite him to a pretty significant day in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, with Kareem, obviously he made his mistakes, but I knew the person before and I knew the person after, and I knew that he had a good heart and he had to learn from his mistakes and become a better person because of it. And he did that. He dealt with the consequences, and he's kind of tried to rebound and just be a better person for the community more than anything. And so just knowing him and how close he was to me, but also how he treated Brittany and how he treated my family has always been special. And so I wanted to have him at my wedding. I didn't think anything of having my coaches. I was having all the people I love at my wedding. And obviously, I think Coach Reid talked to him there, and they were able to talk about just things. And we never knew that was going to be coming back to the Chiefs. But getting them back now, you can tell he appreciates the moment. He appreciates being out there on the practice field and being in the building. And it's been fun for him to have an impact on this team that he's had. And it's been a big impact. And to get to the Super Bowl with him, because as someone that I was one of the first people I met when I got to Kansas City, and not to be able to enjoy those Super Bowls with, and to finally get to enjoy one with him will be a special moment. Hopefully, we can get a win. He can enjoy that too.
Patrick, you've got some guys like yourself and Chris, Travis, like the trash talk on the field. Woke up the wrong gentleman. Yeah. But Andy seems to have a distinction between trash talking off the field and showing your personalities and doing it off the field, like interviews like this. Super Bowl week becomes a big part of that. How do you balance that? How does Coach kind of encourage that?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm pretty good at. I don't really talk trash unless I get trash talked to me. So I'm usually pretty calm. But Coach Reid is great about showing your personality, and we want you to go out there and play with fire, and we want you to show how much you care about the game. But we have respect for the game as well, and so we respect the guys on the other side of the football. We know how hard it is to get to this point, and how great of a football team and great football players you have to be. And so that's why it's just genuine. You're just honest, and you respect the guys on the other side of the football. When you're in between the lines, you show your fire, you show your love for the game. But when you're off the field, you show respect for the game, and I think that's important. And I think that's why we're in the position that we're in.
Nick, and then we'll finish with Matt.
Test your memory here. Bill Snyder, we talked to him yesterday. He called you the best quarterback he ever went up against. Do you remember much about those games? You've always been a historian about the games, too. Did you have an appreciation maybe at the time you were a freshman out there playing against Snyder on the sideline or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. First off, playing against them and then getting those letters after the game, I've kept those letters. And so just a true great person and iconic coach and an iconic leader, just made his imprint in football forever, especially at K-State, but just throughout the Big 12 and football in general. And so played a lot of games. Well, I think I only won one of them. I came into the fourth quarter, I believe, of one of them, and then played at Texas Tech. We lost. We won at Texas Tech in Lubbock, and then went to K-State, and I came off injury, and we ended up losing that game. Tried to do a Hail Mary at the end of the game, got hit. I think I threw a pick to DJ Reed, who's in the NFL. So it's always cool when you play the greats against the greats, and you get to see their impact and why they're so great. And so it was some fun moments for me in college.
Did you get a letter after every game?
I got two of them. So the first one I didn't get one because I came at the fourth quarter probably, but then the second one and the third one I got one.
Patrick, the Alex Smith trade was 7 years ago today. When you think about all your success since then, how did Alex leave an impact on you to get to where you are now?
Yeah, just showing you how to be a professional. I think that was the biggest thing, and how to go about your business. Obviously a great dude, someone that comes to my charity golf tournament still to this day, and I spent a lot of time with Alex and his family, and I think more than anything, he made his imprint on how you prepare, how you go about your business every single day, and how you get better. And for someone coming out of college and going into a professional world, it helps speed up the process of me becoming who I am.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Patrick.
A bunch of guys were saying in the locker room that the increased intensity of practice from training camp on kind of brought the team together, in a lot of ways, made everyone closer, kind of bonded. Did you sense that as training camp practices were longer and you guys have been coming to Monday, that kind of thing?
I think the more time you're able to put in work together with the guys next to you, usually the better the outcome, because there's been time spent, time on task, a lot of communicating, a lot of ups and downs that you go through together. Those things always pay off in the end.
Was there any point or time during the season where or win even, where you thought, yeah, we can get back to the Super Bowl?
When it began.
Jalen, coming off performance like you are offensively as a team, the old adage, you want to play your best football late in the season. Do you feel you guys are doing that as an offense?
I think it's about efficiency. It's about winning at this point. It's always been about winning. But, when you're able to win in a number of different ways, it's just about mastering whatever the plan is in that particular game and in that particular moment, and just making sure everyone's on the same page when we go out there and execute.
What's your most vivid memory of that last Super Bowl?
Sorry?
What's your most vivid memory of that Super Bowl?
Next question.
What did you learn from that and that you can apply to returning?
There we go. I think hindsight, from a perspective that everyone's not really experienced that before, everything that comes with the week, I think that it's something that's big, is just being of good influence on the guys that haven't been there before, being able to answer questions and open that door so everyone's that much closer when we go out there and experience, because in the end it's a business trip and it's an opportunity that we've worked for to have, and we want to take advantage of it.
How long did it take for you to let that loss go?
I moved on to the next season and prepare for that. Obviously, you still have different motivations, and you're motivated by any time you come up short in anything, and having that perspective of just trying to learn from all of your lessons. So no shortcoming is bigger than the other. You just want to learn from them all.
You've played in a lot of big games in college and the NFL. How much does that experience in all those huge games help you when you're in the biggest moments of these?
My approach is just to take it a day at a time. It starts with the preparation throughout the week and being diligent with the work, putting the time in, putting forth the effort. So when it's time to go out there and go, you feel prepared.
What's your best advice for your teammates who haven't been in this game?
Exactly what I just said. Go take it a day at a time, be diligent, put forth the effort, and just work throughout the week.
Yeah, what does it take to kind of buy in to what's been going on this season? I mean, guys have had to sacrifice certain things, stats, whatever.
Buy into what?
Excuse me?
Buy into what?
Buy into, just all the different ways you guys approach winning, whether it's Saquon 1 week, AJ, you. I mean, how does that buy-in work, I guess?
I think that's the nature of it. Don't get lost in what the nature of a team sport is. It takes a team to go out there and have success. So it's looked a ton of different ways, but any team that has success, it looks a ton of different ways. And so just put our focus on winning.
You've alluded a couple times to the Georgia guys and how they've kind of, maybe inspiration is not the right word, but it inspired you maybe a little bit. How has that happened, and what do you see from them that you just think is kind of special?
Just think they have a tight-knit group. Everything that they've gone through in college, all the success they've had in college, the rigorous process they go through as well. And I know it's very similar to what I experienced at Alabama, and that creates a tightly knitted group. And so I think they've been able to carry over some of those things and some of those experiences and some of that mentality to Philadelphia, and I think it's paid dividends for our success, especially on defense.
In that team meeting the other day when Nick asked you guys to close your eyes and envision your best team, what came to your mind?
Nothing.
John, you've had to deal with a few things here late in the season, the concussion, the knee, and you mentioned an illness last week. How are you feeling right now heading into Super Bowl week?
I got a little cough, but I'm fine.
The knee's good.
I'm fine.
Dallas Goedert's having a great playoffs, and I think you've connected with him more than anybody else in the playoffs over these last 4 years. Where did that trust start with him?
It began every offseason. Every offseason we spent a lot of time together. And, opportunities come and they look different. And he's always been diligent, always been patient. And I think specifically him coming out to Houston, and we usually always get together in Cali. All those things pay off. So that's exactly kind of our MO coming into this game. Coming into all of these games, just all the work and time we put in, it pays off when it's supposed to.
AJ was talking yesterday about not loving some of the stuff that goes on during Super Bowl week, wishes it could be more about football. When you get pulled in all those different directions, how do you take that personally? Is there something that's enjoyable about it? Do you not like it?
It comes with the profession, and it comes a part of our duties and our responsibilities. It comes with the job.
What do you think makes Kansas City's defense challenging in the way Steve Spagnuolo schemes that defense?
Well, he's been great. He's been great. Very high success rate in what they do. Great players, great defensive back group. Obviously, Chris Jones and up front, and so it'll be a great challenge. It'll be another great challenge for us.
He's famous for coming out with some unscouted looks. Last year, he famously did it with that 7 defensive back thing that got San Francisco to throw incomplete on a key third down. How do you go into a game like that, not knowing specifically that maybe what could come that hasn't been scouted?
Yeah, you want to try and prepare yourself for all the different things, and just go out there and execute and play clean.
Collins obviously had a pretty busy couple weeks with stuff outside of this building. How have you noticed him kind of keeping on task with you guys, and what's his mindset?
Yeah, I really don't pay attention to it. Obviously, I get prepped before I come up here, but I wouldn't have known a thing. I think he's handled it great. I don't know what's going to happen after that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but in terms of his focus, our focus, and all of our intensity being towards this, I feel like he's been doing a great job.
Two more questions.
When you look at when you look at this season, has it been more challenging for you than maybe some of the other seasons you've been here?
Challenging in what way?
Just like things you've had to overcome. Just I don't know. It seems like
what?
Like every season, there's always obstacles. I guess. I mean, does it seem like there have been more in your path this time?
It's per usual. It comes with it, and it's been plagued along my journey, and it comes in an abundance. But I found a thrill in it, and so it's forced me to have this opportunity again. So keep it coming.
You talked the other day. Nick said that you were joking, or he perceived it as a joke with the straitjacket comment. Was it intended as a joke?
Just joking around after the game.
No injuries to give you here. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Eagles. Heck of a football team. Very well run from ownership on down through. Nick's done a heck of a job there with the football team. Howie Roseman bringing the players in that they have, and they're very talented. And so well coached and very talented. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, you faced this team back-to-back years, one of the Super Bowl and one of the regular season, but in addition to Saquon, Barkley, just how much can you tell that has improved that team's offensive and the way they go?
Yeah, sure. He's a great player, a potential future Hall of Famer. He was tremendous at New York, and he had a great year this year with the Eagles. So he's helped them especially the rush game. But he can catch the ball. They've got a quarterback that can throw the ball, and 2 wide receivers out there that are tremendous, and a couple tight ends too. So they're fully loaded on the offensive side. But to answer your question, he's been a great addition for him.
Andy, with your love of the history of the game, I don't recall whether did you watch Super Bowl 4 when it happened as a kid?
Yep.
Do you remember?
Nope. I remember. Yeah, I watched all of them. Yeah.
Well, that goes back even before your Unfastened Pick episode, I guess. So.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
Would you ever consent to being mic'd up during a game, like Hank Stram was?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. Not big on that, but.
Have you ever run 65 toss power trap?
We did last week. Yeah, we ran it last week. Yeah, the one that Pacheco caught. Tried to score. We didn't quite score though. Wasn't as good as the one they ran.
You've done the Super Bowl in New Orleans before. What do you remember about that? What, 97 game?
Yeah, it's a great city, and the hospitality was unreal back then, as I'm sure it will be now. They know how to put on a show, and but as coaches and players, you don't get into too much of that. So, but it's a great city for the fans. I think it's great. Yeah.
Coach, your head coach at that time was a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In what ways did he influence you as a head coach?
Yeah, Mike Holmgren. I felt like when I worked for him, nobody did it better. I still feel that way after being a head coach for all these years. He's a tremendous teacher. Great teacher. So took a ton from him in all areas. How he dealt with players and also the football part. He's got a great mind.
Coach, obviously you can't win without great players, but you've had great success in your 60s. Bill Belichick did. Is that kind of become a new sweet spot for coaches? And if so, why is it, you kind of settle in and are as good as you can be, it seems at that age in the NFL?
Yeah, I think they put something in the Geritol. Listen, I don't know. It's probably the experience, I guess, if you had to, and then you got good players, which helps, and good coaches, so good organization. We're fortunate to have all of those things, if there's something in common, with that. But
is patience one of them? Do you find that,
Yeah, I think you're probably more patient. You've seen a lot to get to that point. And so I know I'm more patient than when I was a younger head coach.
You're up for one of the finalists for AP Coach of the Year. You won it a couple of decades ago. It's a weird award. Sometimes there's two they don't expect much for. I know you don't care probably if you win this thing, but I think it would be still an honor to be to this point of it. With everything you guys have gone through this year, that's been recognized by folks.
Yeah, listen, I think it's great for everybody involved. Everybody's got a piece of that. So if that happens, it's great. But I look at those more as really a team honor, because it's not a one-man show. So you're really saying that your coaches did good, your players have done well, the organization's done well. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I wasn't even sure that was going on, but you could have just made that up.
Coach, what on your play? When you ran 65 toss power trap last year, was that the first time? Is that also what it's called in your playbook too?
Yeah, that's what we call it. So it's a tribute to the old guys. Yeah.
Had you run that before? Or was that last
No, that was the first time. Yeah.
A lot has been said about Patrick's locked-innedness in the postseason. Have you seen that evolve over the years that you've worked with him, or has he always been able to maintain just that consistent focus?
He's been good with that. I'd say that's been a consistency. You can really see as the season builds up, he's even more focused and more focused. And you get to this time of the year, he's really locked in. Yeah.
I'm curious if you've heard any of the reactions this week calling him, Michael Jordan, right? What do you make of those kinds of comparisons?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I've tried not to listen to anything. I had to do my media things, but I don't tune in during the season at all.
Andy, on that, just this continued issue of you guys maybe getting a friendly whistle, taking away from the actual accomplishments on the field. You've probably been asked that before, but just to react to that.
The
allegations of getting a friendly whistle. There's a change.org petition out there to look at officiating as regards to the Chiefs. I mean, I know you've heard about it. But.
Yeah, whatever. I think they balance. Everything balances out. I mean, you got a human element there with the officials. These guys are trying to do the best job they possibly can out there, and they take a lot of heat one way or the other, and coaches take a lot of heat one way or the other. So I don't pay much attention to it.
Coaches, do you use that as motivation? Is that something you're settling into that point where everybody's kind of, you're not the new guys on the block winning. Now people are kind of tired of winning. Is that?
Yeah, I don't care. Honestly, I don't get into that. I don't use that with the guys. I mean, I just want to make sure we get prepped. And as coaches, our responsibility is to give them everything we can give them to be even greater than they already are. And then make sure we're digging in on plays to help them with that, and then for them to focus in on learning it and keep themselves physically fit and mentally fit to go play. I mean, there's enough to do just with that, where you don't even have to pay attention to the other stuff.
Coach, one on your plans for this week. Joe Tooney's been so good out at left tackle, but DJ's still in here. Is there any temptation to push Joe back in and go with Humphreys, or will you be sticking to what you've been doing?
Yeah, it'll probably be the same. I mean, we'll rotate them all in there, but I think probably end up being the same when it's all said and done.
Nate, let's go Nate. We'll go across the room. Go Nate.
Two things, Andy. What is it about Spags' blitz package that that you find most compelling?
Yeah, so he doesn't do it every down. Sometimes you have this stigma of being a blitz guy, and it's when he does it, and then how he knows the protections or the run scheme, for the run blitzes, how he understands the scheme and when to go ahead about using it. So I think that's what makes him so unique and why they're successful. You can blitz, they know the blitz is coming, they pick it up, and it's one of those deals. You call it, the offensive guy calls the right play for that time. Well, his objective is to find when that's not happening.
Off the field, because you are going back to New Orleans, mind sharing your favorite meal in New Orleans?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, there is one. Emeralds. Not that I turned any of them down, but when I was with the Eagles, the chef there, the head chef, tremendous chef, he was a huge Eagles fan. So he invited me over, and He said, I'm going to start at the ocean and finish in the mountains. He put me in the kitchen. He said, have at it. So he says, I'll stop when you're full. So 4 hours later, we were done. You know.
You worry he's going to poison your food this week then?
I probably won't go there.
Dave?
Andy, I was wondering if you could sort of reconcile the Brett Beach that used to run out and get you hamburgers as an intern in Philadelphia with the Brett Beach that goes out and gets you players now. And did you ever foresee this happening in his career way back then?
Yeah, I thought, listen, you could see right from the get-go his energy and how smart he was, and and then his passion for the player side of it. So those guys that came in, I gave him the opportunity to either go personnel or go to the football side. And he was so passionate about the personnel side and just digging in with it and finding guys. You know, and you look at Deshaun Jackson and McCoy and Cox, all those guys, he's throwing those guys on my desk saying, you got to get these guys. So he just had an eye and a knack for it, and that hasn't changed. Yeah.
We'll do last three. Rob, saying that bye. Go, Rob.
Coach Reid, your advice to the rookies and the players experiencing the circus of opening night for the first time.
Yeah, you know what's kind of neat about that is you get people from all over the world that show up. Now some of the questions are a little bizarre. So our Brad G talks to them just about you know, how you handle those. That's important. It might be a joke for them, but you know what you say is what you say. So you got to be careful how you present it and present yourself. So for the rookies, that's all new. The veteran guys kind of know that, but the rookies, it's kind of a wild event.
Sam?
Andy, I'm sure the players are hyper aware that there's so many people watching this game. You guys have played in big games before, but I'm sure nerves can still be a part of the equation. What's the key sort of early in a game of this magnitude?
Yeah, I think it's, first of all, it's preparation before you get there. You've got to, you got to make sure that you have everything going. You know your juices are going to be flowing, so you've got to make sure you get in there and prep, and so you're not thinking about things while your juices are going as much as you're just going out and playing. But yeah, no, you get excited. Yeah, it's an exciting game, but you don't want to hide that either. So and then you just kind of settle down as you go through.
Go ahead.
Andy, I know you've got a nice relationship with Bill Belichick, and you just did the podcast with him. Right? Did he, when you won over 300, did he specifically reach out to you and congratulate you for that?
I believe he did. Yeah, yeah. He's I mean, he's a good friend, so he's great with all that stuff. He's the guy. This is all old hat for him. So I have a ton of respect for him as a coach. So, but he's also a friend. Yeah.
But not like welcome to 300 or anything like that.
No, he's never going to really reach the real 300. There's a lot of cheeseburgers that went into that 300.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, good. Yeah.
Hey, Saquon, what's Coach Singleton meant to you this year?
He's been amazing for me this year. From the second I walked in the building, our conversations, just the way that he helped me grow and develop, not only as a player but as a man. He challenged you in every single way, on and off the field. So, a lot of the success that I've been having this year, Coach Singleton's key to that.
Anything specifically you can share that?
Yeah, there's so much, but the biggest thing for me that sticks out, in my mind was a conversation that we had coming into the season where, he kind of expressed how he feels about me as a player and how he views me as a player, and how I need to start viewing myself as that, and that this year could be a year where we can do something special, and basically challenge me to do that and let me know that he has my back doing it. And so far we've been doing some special stuff this year.
Saquon, Jordan was just talking about how close this team has become. Some of the clips from the game, just the excitement you showed when Will was able to get in the end zone. What has it meant to you to be part of this group as you reach this point?
It's been everything. It's crazy to think about how close I am to a lot of these guys when, however many months ago, I just walked in the building and we're familiar with a lot of them, going against them and knowing them through competing, but being able to actually develop relationships and friendships with these guys has been everything, and it's been super fun. It's been a great process for me, whether it's on a golf course, whether it's in the weight room, or crazy conversations that we have in the lunchroom. All those things go a long way, and I think it's pivotal to your success as a team when you have a team that's really super close and actually genuinely cares about each other and want to see each other go out there and perform at a high level.
Before the free agency cycle last year, how familiar were you with some of the personnel department, Howie, scouts, coaches? What were your interactions beforehand, and how many of them did you know?
None.
Like during your draft process, or like if you rekindled any relationship?
Not that I remember. My draft process was
kind of different, I guess. I was viewed to be a high pick, so that in combine day, everybody's there talking, and it's like hectic for everyone. For me, it really wasn't. Like I actually had to go out of my way to try to talk to some coaches because you never know, just in case in the future something comes up. But a lot of those conversations were like, "Yep, we're not gonna be able to get you." So, nothing from draft. Probably, cross paths on game days and seeing each other, but nothing really.
Who'd you go talk to? Who'd you go proceed to talk to?
The Ravens. I think the Ravens. I think the Colts. So long ago. But yeah, I think those were two teams. I think they were just the table was open at that time, so I just tried to go sit down and have a conversation.
Did you watch the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I watched it on a plane coming back because we left that day. So I didn't see the whole thing, but I got to see a little bit of it.
Where were you coming from?
Arizona. It was in Arizona 2 years ago, right?
It was. Oh, so you had been there.
Yeah, that stuff is fun, Radio Row and all that, but I like this a little bit better.
What were your thoughts and emotions as a Giant watching the Eagles play in the Super Bowl? Were you rooting against them? Were you?
Of course I was rooting against them. They knocked us out the playoffs at that time. So yeah, there's no part of me that wanted the Eagles to win. But yeah, it's funny to look back at it now, probably how I felt, and during that time and during that week of the Super Bowl to now being here with a lot of those guys that were part of that team now, and trying to finish the job and get us all a ring.
We had a sense from any of those guys how much it hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely for sure. And, I think even though I wasn't part of that team, going back to kind of his question in the beginning, when you're able to develop, a friendship and relationship with these guys and, be able to go to war with each other, it felt like I was. And I know how, wasn't there, but I can feel in my own body and myself how it felt for them to see the confetti fall and the wrong color and having to walk out and definitely don't want to be part of that. And that's definitely something that drives us. For those guys that have been part of it, but also just wanting to get the job done and knowing how it is for those guys, how it felt, and doing everything I can in my possible ability to make sure that doesn't happen.
In this Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl, what would it mean also to have the most rushing yards ever in a season, including playoffs, for you and the line?
Yeah, we didn't get the single season. We have an opportunity to get that. But the only thing that makes it special, whether if we would got the rushing record during the season or if we get the all-time rushing record and playoffs included, the only thing that makes it special is winning the Super Bowl. And that's kind of just this profession that we're in, the sport that we're in. There's a lot of great things that we accomplished so far up to this, but if you don't get the job done, next Sunday, maybe when you're in your 30s and 40s and you look back on it, you're going to think about how special it was. But it's kind of, it's kind of going to make it feel everything like it came up short. So all those things are important, all those things are cool, and we'll love to accomplish that. But the most important thing is winning the Super Bowl, because you do that, it just makes everything else you accomplish even more special.
How did you deal with the losing, up in New York, for one winning season in 6 years? How did you kind of just cope? Because obviously winning is the only thing you talk about. So how tough was that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. But I think that's why I'm the player I am today, and the reason why I'm having the success I am today. Whether it's losing or the adversities and the injuries that I went through, the reason why I'm able to be at the age I am, and after all those injuries, I never gave up. I never lost hope. I just thought that I always saw this moment coming. I always saw this success coming. At the time, I thought I was going to be still in the New York Giant uniform. But life happens for a reason. Everything happens, and I'm in the right place in the right time where I'm supposed to be. So that's within anything, though, not just in football, not just in the profession that we have. Life is going to throw so much challenges at you, but that's who you know. That's how you know the type of person you are and the type of man you are in those moments. And I think who I was in those moments are the reason why you're able to see me shine, quote unquote, right now. I guess you could say.
We've seen all the videos.
The Mike caught you, I forget who you were telling, but you said the goal wasn't just to get here. It was towards the end of the NFC Championship game. Now that you guys are back on the practice field first time ahead of the Super Bowl after a couple of days off, could you feel just like a collective sign of everybody locking back in and getting back to business?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have that day. I think you have 2 days, that night and the next day, Monday, to really let it set in that what you accomplish and be super happy, celebrate, let loose for a little bit, but right away, you got shit right back, right into meetings, because you know that it's a business trip. Everyone tells you, how the craziness of everything's gonna be down there, but you go down there and you take it all in. You appreciate it. You be thankful for the moment, but at the end of the day, it's about winning that football game and whatever it takes. So yeah, you can give yourself a little bit to celebrate, but then you got to shift your mindset. You got to shift right back and get ready for war.
We've seen all those videos of, the conversation with Nick on the sideline in the Giants game, let the young guys eat, and you have some of your teammates saying, we're witnessing greatness, and you say, well, it's because of you. Where did you learn how to become a good teammate or put team above everything else? Your dad as a kid? Like, how did you learn that?
I think everything stems from my parents. I'll be crazy not to sit here and say that. I'm not the man I am today without my mother and father. I'm very lucky and blessed. Not everyone have both parents in their life and healthy. But then another thing is, I don't see that being a good teammate. It's just real. It's just the truth. Like, you can't be great without the greatness of others. And that's not like, I didn't really hear that quote till I got here, but we give all the praise to everybody, like whether it's a quarterback or whether it's me or, whether it's AJ. Like, we can't do it. We play the ultimate team game. I love this game, and I've been playing this game since I was 7 years old and wanted to do it since I was a little kid. And the way you win championships, the way you do special stuff is together. So it's not like, I don't think that's being a good teammate. I'll be a fool not to realize that. I play running back. You can hit me in the ball. I don't care how great you are, but if I got 5 guys in the backfield, I'm not Superman. I can't make all those guys miss. And that's just the reality of it. Jalen, guys got to get open. Jalen got to make the throw. AJ got to make the catch. That's how the game works. And I think we've lost that in today's world with, how much we all get paid and, you have stats of Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, like it's those two guys going against each other. That's not the truth. It's a team sport. Yes, it stems from my parents, but it's not hard to realize. And I think a lot of other people need to start realizing that too.
Speaking of your father, he said the other day he doesn't think he's seen you as happy as you are this year since you were introduced to football. Is there truth to that? And also, what did it mean to see him in an Eagles jersey or an Eagles sweatshirt?
Sweatshirt, right? Yeah, it's hard to get him in a jersey. He's a little stubborn when it comes to that, but he got a Jets tattoo on him, so it's kind of hard to get him to switch. But to see my family say that, it's amazing. At the same time, too, it makes me realize I don't realize how depressed or upset I was the year prior. I thought I did a good job of hiding it. I thought I did a good job of, not letting it bother me. But it's not just my mom and dad saying that. My kids, Anna, all my boys, my friends, they say the same thing, and it's just a good thing to be in a spot where, things are working out how I envisioned it to work out, and things are working out what I worked for. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, yes, this is the year it turned out for me. It took it 7 years, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of getting off track. But it's a special moment to see, how happy my family sees me, and then to experience that moment with my father, because that's the guy who this whole journey started with. When we used to take our walks to Hockendackwa football field to play for the Hockey Eagles. And those little walks we would have, and I used to tell him I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he would instill so much confidence in me at a young age, and to see all the things that I want to accomplish actually coming alive. There's definitely a reason why there's a smile on my face, and probably even a bigger smile when I'm around my father.
When you did sign, there was tremendous excitement. Many of us were there when you were introduced. Did you, at that time, I don't know, let your mind wander, think about what could happen with this group, and did you set individual goals for yourself? Did you think this was possible this season?
Yeah, I didn't think that it was possible. I kind of knew. You got to envision it, you got to believe it, and sometimes it's funny how things work. Like you work your butt off, you tell all off season, and it only gives you a chance. And did I do anything significantly different in this off season than I did in others? Not really, to be completely honest. If anything, I probably took a little more time for my body to let my ankle heal and let my knee recover a little bit more from the year prior. But it only gives yourself a chance. But every year, no matter what, you have to come in with that mindset, because we all have a chance to go out there and accomplish what we want to accomplish. So I believed in it. I envisioned it. I had those conversations with myself. I'm not a big guy. Like some guys write it down on notes and put it on the mirrors and stuff like that. I'm more to myself, whether it's I'm in a sauna or in that cold tub or on the drive in the morning. But it's a cool feeling when everything that you work for, it's all right in front of you, and all those stuff that the player that I knew I was and the player that I believe I was is finally getting to show.
Hey, Nick said that, I think he said in front of the team for everybody to close your eyes and visualize your best play. When he said
you
that,
know that.
What's that? I know everything. Well, when he said that, the team sent that out, the social media. What did you visualize when he said that?
My moment was probably the most recent one. Would have been the Rams run, the long one in the snow. That would probably be my moment, and then you kind of get lost into like more of like just smiling and to the moments you built, whether it was high school football or college, and all the little dumb stuff we would do when we were kids and in our late teens. Those are probably my moments that came into my head.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, you made a comment about the feeling like a paid actor at the Could you kind of expand
on that, and what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Yes, it's about us, but it's not about us in that way. We have so much we have to do for everyone else, and for the media, the fans, and it's only so little time that we get to, focus on what's important, and that's the game. And we have to do a really good job of staying locked in and staying focused. And even when I said a paid actor, even the game, there's so many commercials and everything, you can't never really get in the rhythm. And the whole week is just really different. So you got to just try to stick within your routine as much as you can, and not get carried away with everything.
How much do you think that first experience helped you? And do you think you can impart that to the guys that haven't been there?
Yeah, absolutely. It helped out a lot, because, I've been turning down media left and right. I'm required, I got to do this, but
I appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. But it don't matter. None of this stuff matters. These are just words. And, regardless of whatever anybody get up and say, you got to go out and play your best, and you know what we're playing for.
Try to embrace it.
Do I try to embrace?
Try to embrace it as much as you can. Just, hey, this is what it is.
No, for sure. You can't do nothing about it. You try to enjoy it with your teammates, because these memories. But again, you not get carried away because it's not important.
What's your perspective on all that? I mean, you majored in journalism in college, so the being perceived as a paid actor, does that give you? Did you feel like you have some insight into what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, of course, every writer is gonna hang on every word you say to get a headline to talk about. Every writer is trying to, or every media member is trying to get you on their show to talk about the game, talk about this and that. And there's only a distraction, only take away what's important, and that's the game. And so.
And with respect to the term, feeling like a paid actor, how much does that come down to how you present yourself or how you feel like you're portrayed in that, in that media setting?
I
guess what I'm asking is you can make an argument that there's like a role of the diva wide receiver, or there's the role of the good teammate. Do you feel like you're being pigeonholed into those kind of?
No, not at all. When I said a paid actor, I wasn't going that direction.
Okay.
At all, not at all. Like I said, I'm only saying that because there's so much that we have to do, and it takes away from what's important, not anything else.
I didn't see you out there on the practice field today. Is everything?
Yeah, everything's fine. It's part of playing like every other week.
It was up to you. How would the week be?
We would show up on Friday and do a walkthrough on Saturday and go play on Sunday.
Have you ever seen Alshon's clip about that?
Yeah.
And so Alshon's view is kind of what you feel?
Yeah, for sure.
You had been on the injury report with the knee. It wasn't. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just asked.
Okay. I'm sorry. Got distracted by all this paid actor stuff.
Oh yeah.
AJ, as far as you mentioned how crazy it gets maybe next week, how important are these 3 days here in the relative calm of Philadelphia to get as much done as you can?
Oh, it's very important. I think yesterday was probably the best day to have everything done by. With the tickets and everything, you want to get all that stuff out the way, and so you can just focus on football. And this is the most normal week we're going to have, kind of, sort of, going up until when we leave on Sunday.
What are you guys doing different? Are you doing anything different as a team this time around?
No, we're keeping it the same. We may tweak some things here and there, but overall, I think it's the same.
What's the biggest area of growth you've seen from Jalen this year?
Biggest area of growth? You could just say his game. You could just say his game, and I think it's speaking for itself. What he do on a daily basis.
How about for you?
For me, I don't know. I had to get back to you on that.
Okay.
When you think about that last game, what sticks with you from that last game, were you able to get over it fast? How long did it take to get over?
No, I was over it really pretty fast. I kept thinking about a play that I didn't receive a call right. That could have ended up in a touchdown and resulting in a 3 and out.
But why were you able to get over it so fast?
Because it matters, but it don't matter. The game is, once it's over, for me personally, when the game's over, guys, the game is over for me. And I just try to get the information and learn from it and grow, But that play really kept me up and thinking about how did I miss that and what I got confused on.
Nick has spoken a lot about your blocking this year and Saquon's big plays in the first one. Made that great crack block that sort of took out a bunch of people. How much pride do you take in that and the fact that he's able to break those long runs?
I take a lot of pride in it. I love seeing Saquon do his thing. I was advocating early in the season, for us to run the ball, so it can get us going, open it up for us. But to block my guy and to see Saquon go for 60, who wouldn't love that?
As far as I remember, we talked about Quinion Mitchell coming in and talking, a little trash with him early on in the season.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in his development, and Cooper DeJean even for that matter?
Man, that time I spoke to you guys about it, I was really saying those guys are really good football players, and I still stand on that. Those guys are really good football players, and they're very smart to be very young. And the play has spoken for themselves, man. Two of those guys have great years for us. Great year for us this year, and I pray they continue doing their thing.
What was the play that kept you up?
I don't want to get into it because we may run it back.
I'm sorry, you're used to being the guy who all the cell phone cameras are upholding, looking at you. The other night at the Sixers game, you're doing that with LeBron.
Yeah.
What's it like being on the other side of that?
Man, LeBron is he's one of my favorite players. I grew up watching Michael Jordan. I grew up watching LeBron, and Kobe. But LeBron is one of my favorite players, and I've known him, but just to see him play again, because you don't know when he's gonna retire. That was special to see him and his son, which is incredible. If you haven't seen a game, you need to go see a game, regardless, because that's an incredible scene to watch. Father and son playing the game together, that's crazy. And so, yeah, I wanted to document that because you never know.
AJ, what makes Kansas City's defense so good?
It's a complex question, man, because they are really good. Stopping the run, they're really good in the back end and play hard. That's the reason why they're in this position. Year after year after year. And so, we definitely got our hands full, and we just got to come out and play our style of game.
AJ, has this been kind of like a more challenging season for you personally than even last year or 2 years ago? Just everything you've kind of been through.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not looking for pity or anything. Yeah. Injuries happen, stuff like that happens. That's a part of the game, and you're working your way through it. But, we're in the Super Bowl, so this might be the best one, just depending on how I finish.
Did it kind of show you something about yourself, just like how you're able to deal with all that, even?
Oh, yeah. Because, it didn't come how I wanted it to happen, and my faith in God got closer, and just to release everything, give everything to Him, and just continue just to grow and continue just to go each and every day when you don't know how it's going to turn out, So I definitely say I'm proud of myself in that area.
A couple more, please. You're kind of a student of other corners, and you study a lot of guys. What do you think of McDuffie?
McDuffie is a really good football player. He's a really good football player. I said that year one, and he continues to get better. Should be fun. It's going to be a great matchup, and I'm going to leave it at that.
What's the best way to understand how the team got so much player buy-in from so many of the top-end players to adapt to roles that maybe were different from what they've had before?
Every year is different. Every year is different, and every role is going to be different. And as the year go on, it may change. And as this year, it changed. Injuries happen, and we changed a little bit on offense, and we switched it up and started running the ball more, and so it started accumulating wins. Who can argue with that? Now, if it was the other way around, then of course it would be a conversation. But it's not, so there's no need for a conversation. And we hear it, and we're trying to finish. So that's the only thing that matters.
Thank you. We got Jordan here. DeVonta, last week when you guys were in that team meeting and Nick asked everyone to close their eyes and think of a play, what play did you think of?
Back in high school, my senior year, 4th round of playoffs, we needed to stop to basically go to state. And the team was driving. They were like inside the 10. And it was like a pile of us, and I had stripped the ball out. And just thinking about, everybody that was in that pile and how everybody was, trying to get the ball out just to stop them.
What does it mean to you to play Super Bowl in Louisiana?
It means a lot. Not just because it's back at home, but, this was the end goal, to get to the Super Bowl. But, just going out there, make sure that we finish the right way.
But is it any special to be home?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have to pay for flights, don't have to pay for rooms and stuff, so.
How much did the ticket request been?
Nah, my people that come here, that's who's going to come to the game.
What's your most vivid memory of the last Super Bowl? What do you take away that maybe can help you win this one?
I would say the best memory was the night before, when a few of us got up in front of the team and talked, and, it was a lot of emotions and things like that. Just, remembering the guys and the emotions that they had and how close the team was. But ultimately, just going out there, just playing our game. As long as we go out there, play our game, continue to play football the way we've been playing it, we should come out successful.
Anything happening in A-Meet? Anything happening in A-Meet?
Nah, nothing happening at A-Meet.
DeVonta, there haven't been a lot of Heisman Trophy winners that won a Super Bowl. What would it mean for you to get both on your resume?
It means a lot. Not just because of that, but from the spring when we were coming in during OTAs and things, training camp to now, like it's a lot of work that's been put in, and you see it paying off. And now just going out there hoping that we can finish this the right way.
DeVonta, you played this team twice now in 2 years. I don't know how deep you are into the film yet, but what differences do you notice from their defense this year?
They tackle well. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They flow to the ball. They try to cause a lot of confusion and things like that. So we have to be ready for everything they try to throw at us.
You talked about that emotion the first time you guys were there. Does it help to have gone through that to maybe anything from what you did the first time versus what you want to do this time?
I don't think it was like emotion in a bad way. I think it was just guys, just being grateful for the opportunity and just, the journey of it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think at some point you have to reflect on what it took to get here, and I think that's a good thing.
Is the hamstring, is that just maintenance from the previous one, or is that something new?
Just maintenance, staying on top of it.
All good for your prospects for this upcoming game?
Yeah.
What in your mind has made this team special and maybe even different than 2 years ago?
That team 2 years ago was very close, but I think now this team is a lot closer. A lot of guys spend a lot of time outside of this building together. When we're here, a lot of guys eating together, having conversations about, things that are just not football.
Is there anything you would do to prepare different for this Super Bowl compared to the last one?
No, I think, for me personally, I take my same approach. I wouldn't say my same approach now is different from 2 years ago, from a game. So the approach I've been taking to get ready for games this year, I'm going to continue to do that.
How quickly were you able to put that loss in the Super Bowl 2 years ago aside? How long did it take you?
I would say probably about 2 days. 2 days, and nothing you can do about it now.
You ever think about it at all anymore?
Yeah, you think about it all the time. Especially, playing it again, playing the same team. You think about it. Think about, what you did when you playing a familiar opponent, the things that they did in that game, watching film, you go back and you watch the game, we played some of those guys, seeing what they were doing then, if they were doing anything different now.
Do you use it as fuel, or are you the kind of player that uses that type of stuff as fuel?
Nah, that don't do nothing for me. It's the next team trying to stop us from getting to our end goal.
Was there any point this season when you said, yeah, we have the team, we have what it takes to get to the Super Bowl, any point during this year that...
Me personally, I always think that, it always comes down to, executing things like that. We had a few bumps in the beginning of the season, but that's part of the game. You're going to have up and downs in the game. Nobody's season is going to be perfect, so it's all about how you respond to it and can you correct the things that you're doing wrong.
AJ talked yesterday about how he's not really a big fan of all the Super Bowl week hoopla. I'm sure you've talked to him about it. How do you feel about it?
I just want to go play football.
Do you consider the whole week a distraction, or just how do you handle it?
I wouldn't say it's a distraction. You make it what it is. However you look at it, that's what it's going to be. For me personally, I'm focused on the game. I don't let outside things get in my head and things like that. I know what I came here for, so that's mostly what I'm focused on.
Have you ever played the Superdome before? Not before you got to the NFL?
Yeah, I played twice in high school and once in college.
Championship games in high school?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
The first one I didn't play because I was injured. Second one, we lost by 4.
There's a lot of players on this team, like top-end players, who have accepted roles that maybe we're not as productive as you could be or have been in the past. How do you explain sort of how everybody's sort of gone along with that?
I know in our room we talk about making the most of the opportunity and things like that. So when a number is called, you have to make it because you never know how the flow of the game is going to be. It may be a drive where you're hot, and the next few drives you might not touch the ball. So you got to make the most of your opportunities. When the ball comes to you, make the play.
He comes through Philly.
Y'all thought I was crazy. Y'all still think I'm crazy.
That's exactly what I'm
saying.
asking.
God crazy? He wrote the Bible. He said a lot of things. I said a lot of things, but that one thing I said, I meant it.
So why did you say that then?
You know why? Stop asking dumb questions. You know why I said that. Answer that question yourself.
Well, I'm not going to say it.
No, you know why I said that.
You said that.
Everybody talk about the front runners and the big guys in the division and conference, but in order to be a big dog and be a leader, you got to be able to win and get to the big stage, and that's what Coach Nick has done. His team has done. So, as I said, it runs through Philly. When I was in Detroit, I was saying the same thing. So the message is like, you have faith in your team. If you can't say that, then why are you talking?
In the team videos, we see you breaking them down. They showed that. What's your role there? Why is that important that you're the guy who does it?
It's not important. It's one of those. I've been there before. It's not really important. There's no such thing as importance when you're talking to your team. Everything you say to your team is important. I think the message is with, I've been here before, you've been here before, and a couple guys that ain't been here before got to get ready. Like, I played in that stadium 2 years ago against San Fran. You know what it was like. You've been there. And the message was to, like, what are you here for? A lot of guys say, oh, I want to win. But in order to win, it starts somewhere. In that moment at practice, you got to look yourself in the mirror. Like, what are you here for? You're here to be okay. You're here to be a great teammate. You're here to be a champion. And I think this locker room is built on champions. A lot of these guys have won a lot in their career from college to now. I'll stop.
You also said in that press conference back during the summer that say what you want about you, you're a winner, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think everywhere you've been, you guys?
I missed the playoff 1 year in 7 years.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know. I'm playing with good teams, with good teammates. Been to 3 conference championships in a row. About to go to another Super Bowl. It's rare to do that, and it's not an individual thing; it's a team thing. So the better I am than my teammates and coaches, the better we are to each other, and we can just eat off each other and grow off each other. So going back to back to back, I think everybody from the first Philly team to being in Detroit, appreciate my time there, and being here with the guys I got now. Every year the yearbook changes for teams. It's just how are you conducting yourself on a long road. And I think this year I just want to show you I'm a winner. Being back on the same stage, you can't put nothing else besides winner, besides my name, my teammate's name, and everybody who's locker room.
CJ, what is it about Coach Sirianni that makes him so special to you?
Respectfully, just coaching us how you want to coach us, bro, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say go into deep detail, like being who he is and just coaching us and trying to relate as much as possible is the best thing a coach can do. I mean, when you try to go outside the box and do something that you're not it frustrates the team. It frustrates who you are as a person. But when you're the same person every day, I think staff, players, everybody respect it. So that's the type of guy he is. He's not going to change. Stuff y'all see, we see on another grade scale in a good way.
CJ, Howie said at one point that this past offseason he wanted to add players that has toughness and swagger and play with emotion, and you were one of them that you brought in, obviously. Do you think that, like, the way that you play and the way that you are around the locker room here, do you think that your teammates feed off?
I think the way I play is overshadowed because I talk a lot of crap, respectfully. I think the way I help lead this team is overlooked because I talk a lot of crap or I get personal fouls, but in reality, you guys watch the games. Sometimes, like this year, I had to learn that being back and playing a full, healthy year was something blessing. I think you guys missed that. I missed the whole year. So in order to come back and play football, that's what helped me show who I am. Toughness, gritty. The other stuff don't matter. It's football. I think just being on this team and leading these guys and going back to where we were, it shows a lot. You guys, everybody look at me in a different way in a crazy life, but I love football.
What have you noticed about Cooper and Quignon as far as them being ready for the stage and how they play with it?
It's the same every week, man. It was grown man. They know what to do. They know what's expected. I'm not say too much to rookies who already grew up. It's kind of hard to say somebody who grew up and they can play little besides keep going. They're young. They get a blessing to get the first glimpse of a Super Bowl your first year. So it's all what you do for them.
What do you think you and the other players that played in Super Bowl 57 learned from that experience that you can take into this one?
Be in the moment. Simple. Just be in the moment.
After your
I ain't gonna do that, twin.
After your win over the Rams, you talked about Nick Sirianni and A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts specifically, proving doubt is wrong. Do you feel like they've done that yet, or are they on their way there?
To be honest with you, last week ain't proved nobody wrong, then I'll be honest with you, I can't speak for their play. They're gonna just keep going out there and balling. The more criticism they have, I'm just one of their biggest fans. I'm their teammate, but also like I can't criticize somebody who go out there and overcome everything every week. I mean, 1 week he's a running quarterback. Next week, he's complaining. And next week, they won a game. So that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just glad them guys rolling. I'm happy to see them get back to the championship and do what they do. They got another piece of the offense and Saquon, so let's roll.
You said you think that people look at it in a crazy light. Do you really think that's the case, or do you think,
I mean, I put it on myself. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I got older. I'm getting older. I'm gonna have fun, but I'm also gonna be who I am. But I'm not gonna take away from the team. That's why I'm back. When you're one of those guys who I'm open and as honest as possible, you can't really get upset at that because I want the same in return. So I think saying the things I say, do the things I do, people look at it as crazy. You're not used to it. If you're not used to it, we're looking at old school football. Reid did the same thing. Ray Lewis did the same thing. Chad Ochocinco did the same thing. Deion was even 3 times worse. On draft day, Deion said, "I'm putting on layaway," and they thought he was the best athlete in the world. So I'm not worried about what I say. I'm just worried if I can back it up, which I can.
The way you win, of course, carries on, but I think it's just him going to his warriors, I would say, to make sure that if he is going to go talk to him and get some good sound counsel and then get back to work.
Who are his warriors?
I mean, you got to ask him that, but I know that you've seen the growth in him. Just just every day, even when people are critical of him, but he just keeps showing up.
He's talked before about how every team needs something different from him as a leader.
Yeah.
What would you say this team is needing?
You know what? It ain't even got to be much. It's just more of just everybody. I feel like this year is just everybody do your job, do what you're supposed to do, and because we already connected, we already together. We can see everybody like being around. We already talking like, dang, this on the last 2 weeks. Let's make it count. So my bad. But yeah, it's just more of like make it count, and I think it's just he ain't got to do nothing extra, especially with this team. Because everybody's they know what's at stake.
How's your second practice going? How much were you able to ramp it up? Like you were hoping you would?
Man, it's going way better than I thought, and I'm excited. We're just taking it one day at a time, but man, feeling good. Really feeling good about it.
And BG, I imagine the first goal was just getting back out there at practice. What's the next goal in recovery right now?
Just making sure that I'm in enough shape to go play this game, and making sure that I'm out just whenever my name get called, just do my job and have fun out there, and keep the boys rallied up so that we can go out and go execute and try to get this game.
And when do you make the call, or your coaching staff make the call of what role you'll play in that game? Is there a timeline on this, or a deadline, if you will?
You know what? I think it's just them seeing me every day, and just seeing what they just surprised that I'm back. But really, they just want to see if it's a drop off or anything. Like they really just want to see what I can do, and I think I've shown a little bit today, even more, because every day we've been adding more to it, adding more on my plate. So yeah, today was a really good one.
The effort you put in the last 2 months to even get to this point, can you just describe the process of it, or just how much you went through just to even get to this point?
Yeah, man, I didn't even think it was possible until I was talking to some people, and they like, man, I came back at this. I talked to Hollis. Hollis came back 2.5 months, and I'm like, hey, I'm 2.5 right now, and so I feel the same way. I just feel like I've been strengthening it. We kind of sped up the protocol a little bit just because it was just going so good, and I'm just like, this is my last game for the year, and I'm like, Super Bowl at that. Man, if I can make it, I can. If not, I'm cool with that too. But I've really been just putting in the work, just trying to watch every little thing, take my vitamins, my supplements, stuff like that, and just making sure that I do all I can to put in that work to see if I could have had a chance, and now I feel real good about it.
You still giving some thoughts about year 16, or?
Huh?
You still giving thoughts about year 16?
I ain't there. Let's go win. then we talk about it. But I'm excited, man. I really do feel good. We had a great practice today, man. The guys is just, ooh, man. It's just been fun to watch. I promise you, it's been fun to watch, and I don't feel no less a part of it. So it's been good.
Did you get some team drill work in today?
I got some team drill. Not team. Tomorrow. I'll probably get some team stuff. But I got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff yesterday or today, as far as using my left arm and striking, and I'm like, yeah. So we'll see how tomorrow go. If it gets sore, right now I don't feel sore at all. Right now I feel regular, but you know how it go. I gotta really see how it's gonna go tomorrow.
It ain't no doggone tomorrow, fellas. What are you gonna bring to the doggone turkey? Are you gonna bust somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna play from your doggone chest? Are you gonna play from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that. They don't respect us. They don't know about our heart, man. That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Whatever you got today,